Hi everyone, my name is Nell and welcome to my tiny studio. This is Let's Crochet and Talk, another cool episode that you can crochet to. I can crochet with you, and I can also share with you the things that are going on in the tiny studio as far as crocheting is concerned. How are you doing today? Go ahead and grab your yarn or whatever it is that you're working on, and I'll go ahead and gather the things that I'm working on, and let's meet back up in a few seconds. All right, I have what I want to show you today in the tiny studio, and I hope that you have your project or whips present so that you can enjoy this episode of Let's Crochet and Chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you, if you are returning to the channel, that you subscribe. And if you like the content that is being provided on this channel, please go ahead and like or share. What happens on this channel? What happens on Simply Nell's Tiny Studio channel? Well, I have 3 different shows that happen here in the tiny studio. The first is Let's Crochet and Chat, where I do yarn hauls, I show whips and finished projects, I talk about different things that's going on in pop culture as I crochet along with you. And I just provide that content that a lot of us crocheters need and desire when we're crocheting. Quality content. Then there is Vintage Coach Obsession, and I just love vintage Coach bags, and so I have a small collection, okay, a big collection, all right, a small collection of vintage Coach bags. And on that show I talk about my love for vintage Coach or everything Coach. I also talk about how to rehab a vintage Coach bag. I also tell you or show you how to maintain and store vintage Coach bags. So that's a great show on this channel. And the third show that is also on this channel is my Dreadlock Love show. Yes, Dreadlock Love. I am celebrating 20 years as a dreadlock diva, a locknista, baby. And I give suggestions and I provide advice and tips on, well, for those who are starting the journey of dreadlocking their hair. I also provide support and advice and encouragement for the entire lock community. So if any of those topics interest you, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you will know or be notified when those episodes appear on YouTube. Okay? Great. But this is not about dreadlocks, and this is definitely not about Coach. This is a Let's Crochet and Chat video. Look at my hair. My hair is just sticking up. Oh my goodness. Today is one of those hair days where my hair has decided that, you know, I'm going to do Tracy or Nell, whatever it is I'm going to do today. All right. And that is what my hair is doing. No matter it doesn't matter the fact that I have brushed it, I put it in a ponytail. It doesn't matter. My hair is like, we're gonna do us today, girl. So you know, you just got to get used to it, and this is how it is. So the way I look on camera, it's not my fault. My lock said this is what we're doing today. So I hit Hobby Lobby twice. Last week they were having a 30% off sale. So I ordered a whole bunch of stuff online, and then I went to the brick and mortar store and I bought some things from there as well. But one of the things that I purchased from Hobby Lobby online was the Scubbies yarn, and this is it right here. So in my Hobby Lobby yarn haul video, I talk about, of course, I talk about the yarn that I purchased, the yarn haul, and I also show this particular yarn, which is a scrubby yarn. It's called Yarnology Scrub It, and it's white. And there are two reasons why I purchased this yarn. The first reason why I purchased it was because I wanted to make some scrubbies for my bathroom. That's the first reason. The second reason why I purchased it was because I added two new vintage Coach bags to my collection, and I wanted to clean them, and I wanted something that was not abrasive but will really be able to clean the inside or the raw leather on the inside of the vintage Coach bag. And so I said, well, why not a scrubby? So that's what I did. I worked up a scrubby from this yarn, and I was very successful in cleaning that particular bag. I have another bag coming tomorrow, and I will be doing the same thing. So I wanted to make scrubbies to clean my bags, but also some scrubbies to clean, for my husband and I to, enjoy cleaning our faces with. And so let me show you what I have made so far, or crocheted so far. And here are the scrubbies. Excuse me. So here are the scrubbies from the Hobby Lobby Scrubology, and they're in various sizes because I switched hooks a couple of times. And what I did was I put a border, a cotton border around the, around the scrubbies, because I thought it would give it, make it look cute. And it's going in my bathroom, so why should it just look like an ordinary scrubby? Shouldn't it look cute too? Yes. And elegant? Yes. So here are the scrubbies. Excuse me. And I'm going to make a pattern. And that's the thing about being a fiber artist, is that there are so many things or so many ways that you can create revenue from your business. And I am a fiber artist and jewelry designer, and my business is Blue Lotus Hill Designs, and you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. But one of the things that I have learned, and I learned this from watching Heather over at HGDC, and what she does is she not only, she crochets and all of that wonderful stuff and knits, but she has a business, and having a business, of course, being an entrepreneur is very important, but there are so many things you can do with the skill of being a crochet or fiber artist, and one of those things is creating patterns. So I've recently began to create my own patterns. I started with some comfy slippers, and did I show you? I did. There are other videos on this channel where you will see me excuse me, crocheting some slippers, and that was my very first pattern, was the comfy crochet slippers, my very first pattern. And I was listening to Heather the other day, and it was something that she said that struck me. She was talking about when someone asked her when did she first become a designer, and she said that once she learned how to crochet, she automatically became a designer, because she learned her first the first thing that she did when she learned how to crochet was she started thinking of ways that she could do it better or ways that she could, jazz this up or do this up. It just came to her of different things that she could do, or she could create off of a basic stitch that her grandmother taught her. So I was thinking the same thing when I started crocheting again about 5 years ago, and just making simple things. Well, nothing I do is really simple, because I started out, when I started crocheting, the first thing I did was make an Afghan. The first thing I did was make, as a matter of fact, several Afghans. And here I was, just a novice or beginner crocheter. And when I say beginner, what I mean is I started crocheting at the age of 9, but I stopped. And throughout the years, I would pick up the crochet hook and some yarn and start crocheting again, but then I would stop. And with crochet, it's about consistency. It's about the vision, and I just didn't have the vision, but more so, I didn't have the bug. And I didn't get the bug until about 5 years ago. And I was going through a health crisis, and that's when I got the bug, and I'm still pushing forward. And what I didn't understand, what I didn't realize, is that while I was making all those Afghans, and I made Afghans for my daughters, I made Afghans for my mom, I made Afghans for my grandmother, and these are some large projects, king size projects. And what I was doing was I was designing. I was really designing, because I didn't make those Afghans or design those Afghans from a pattern. It just came from my mind. I designed it on my own, and that's when I realized I was a designer, but also what we like to call a free-form crocheter. So when you are a business owner and you're in this particular field, you think about having multiple streams of income, or is it you consider the possibility of having multiple streams of income from being a fiber artist. And one of those streams of income comes from designing and creating patterns. And so that's where I am now. I'm in the throes of really learning how to put together a pattern, a good pattern. So my first pattern was my comfy crochet slippers. Yay! My second pattern will be this scrubby. This scrubby is going to be my second crochet pattern. So I'm excited about that. They're really cute. They have a nice cute little fancy border or edging to it, and all of that of course will be included in the pattern. So you'll be able to make a scrubby that looks like this. And you could, you know, like I said, this has a cotton edging or border on it, and we'll see how that goes. What else have I been working on? Well, remember when I told you about an Afghan I had crocheted for a friend, and I was preparing to gift it to her? So I put it in the washing machine, and I thought I was doing everything I could to prevent mishaps from happening. Well, unfortunate for me, a mishap happened. So there was an unraveling that took place. So I had to repair it. And here is that Afghan. I finished repairing it. And this is a granny square Afghan. And I'm gonna try to hold it up for you so you can see it. With a nice shell pattern border. So anyhow, it unraveled, and I repaired it finally, because I was so, you know, I was so upset with myself. And here's the funny part. I must have done a really good job, because I don't see where it unraveled. Oh my God. This is ridiculous. I'm gonna have to go through it. I'm gonna have to lay it out and really go through it and see if I can find where it unraveled, because where it unraveled and I did some repairs, I decided that I was going to put something there to hide the repair work that I did on this Afghan. So I ended up, I sat back and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it. I said, what could I put in that area where I can distract from my repair work? Which is kind of funny, being that now that I'm looking at it, I don't know where that area is. It's not really noticeable. So I'm going to have to sit down and figure that out. But anyhow, I was thinking what I could do to kind of hide that area. And so I decided that I would make some crochet flowers and sew the crochet flowers to that area, that spot. And I was like, girl, you are a crochet genius. So I spent a couple of days looking at some crochet patterns and tutorials here on YouTube, and I found a couple that I liked, and I whittled it down to 2 that would be perfect for this Afghan. So I put them in my in my granny square bag. So let me pull that out for you. Oops, real quick. And you know, they were just some basic flowers, and I'm thinking that I'm going to make maybe a few more. To go on the flower, probably with the color pink. Okay, so this is just your typical daisy. That's cute. Okay, here's another. So cute. Okay, here they are. Here's another. This is a totally different pattern. This one is in pink. Here's pink again. And here is the Grande Dame. Well, let me show you this first. Oh, look like this one. Well, I won't be using this one. As you get the idea, right? Okay, let's see if I have a better one. Okay, this one looks better. Sort of. But here are the flowers that I'm definitely going to use. Look at that. What I was thinking was putting, you know, maybe one of my faux pearl beads right there in the center. What do you think that would look like? I think that would be cute. Let's try it out now. I mean, I'm not going to attach it right now, but let's see how it will look. Okay, here it is. Okay, maybe it could go like right here. Maybe I could position it right there, and maybe up here. Let's see, can you see that? Like maybe right here, or maybe, you know, spread it out so it could spread it out into some type of pattern, so you know it will look planned or designed to be in that area and not just placed there as a cover-up. But I'm thinking that's gonna look good. That does look pretty good. What you think? Place them there, or maybe here, you know, some kind of way. I like that. Let me see about these little white ones. Maybe have a big one here, and maybe place, you know, a white one maybe on top of the purple right there, and maybe a little pink one over there. You know, do a little, hey, oh yes, a little grouping, huh? Yeah, that looks really good. I think I'm going to do that. I think a grouping would be good, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna put this back in the bag, and that's my daughter Chastity. Hi, Chastity.
What's up?
Yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and first I'm going to have to lay this back out to find out exactly where where I did my work, my repair work, and then see if I can lay out a pattern using, you know, these crochet flowers. And I'm probably going to need a pink. You know what? That hot pink that I purchased from Hobby Lobby, that might work on this as well. This might work as a flower on, that would look really cute. But I don't think I have any hot pink in this Afghan. I don't. I only have purple, light pink, some gold, white. So that might not work. But you know what? Who cares? It's a Granny Afghan. It can look any way I want it to look. So I think I am. I think I'm going to make some hot pink flowers to complement these purple flowers. And I'm going to add it to this blanket. And then I'm going to make some more of these small white daisies. And I'm going to add them and make a cute little pattern so that you will not be able to see. I mean, look, I did the repair work and I can't even see where it's at. Anyhow, I guess it'll just be, you know, another, a 3D layer, a 3D Afghan. So let me go ahead and fold this up. That's ridiculous. I mean, when I was repairing this Afghan, I was just very distraught because I said, you know, that's a lot of hours went into making this, and I was like, I'm screwing this up. I'm screwing this all up. You know, maybe what I should do is just repair it and use it, you know, keep it for myself and just use it, you know, just have it sitting in the, you know, sitting in the tiny studio, whatever, you know. This is not working out, and obviously I did a pretty good job because I can't find the parts that I repaired. So I think that she's going to love it. And it's an heirloom piece, so she should have it for quite a long time. I hope so. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to add this yarn to that beautiful new bag that I bought from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to put that in there, and I'm going to start making some flowers today. So hopefully by the time I talk to you next, or we meet up in the tiny studio, I'll be able to show you the end results of that Granny Afghan, because it's so pretty, and I just really love making Granny Afghans. I still have a lot of granny squares in here because what I would like to do is I made a whole lot of yellow ones and a lot of white ones, a lot of itty bitty ones like this. Because what I'm going to do is I want to make a giant granny square blanket. And if you've made or created a granny square blanket before out of granny squares, you already know this ain't enough. You already know what I got in this bag ain't hardly enough for what I'm trying to do. So it's an ongoing process, and I'll get back on it. I stopped making granny squares and moved on to the Granny Afghan. You know, I switch up a lot, and that's what happened. And I think that's what happens to most artists. We become infatuated, obsessed with a certain thing, and we will work at it, and then we'll just lose the spark. The fire will go down, and then we'll move on to something else. But this is still in the back of our mind. So I'm going to probably this weekend, I'm going to begin to make some more granny squares, and I'm going to make some granny squares and continue to make the flowers. So I'm thinking of the pattern. I'm thinking of a pattern, or I'm designing a pattern right now in my mind as I'm speaking to you about how I want those flowers to look on that granny square Afghan, and how I want it to be grouped so that you will never know where the unraveling and the repairing happen. You will never know, because it's going to turn into a 3-dimensional granny Afghan. That just came to me. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I just put all of those things back in their respective bags, waterproof bags. I just put the granny's blanket back in the bag so that it does not, you know, things that happen in the tiny studio does not, so that it will not affect the integrity of the Afghan. And I cannot stress that enough, because I had another Afghan, I think it was my mom's Afghan, where I had an accident, and I spilled coffee, and the coffee splattered, and it splattered partly onto her Afghan. Now, I wasn't even finished with the Afghan yet, you know, but it had a coffee, it got splattered with coffee. And so I had to, you know, stop what I was doing. I had to get that stain out and wash it and all that great stuff. But I was still in the middle of creating, you know, crocheting that Afghan. And so the lesson that I've learned is that when you're working on projects like that, you got to protect them. You have to, you know, protect these items, because that's a lot of work. You know, that's a lot of hard work that you are, heart and time that you are spending and that you are putting into these heirloom projects, and you can't get that time back. You really can't. You cannot get the time back. So that means that you have to take care of your project. So today I'm going to be working on this Afghan, and I started it a while back, probably sometime last year, and I bought some yarn from Hobby Lobby months ago, though. Not recently, but months ago. And they are specifically for this particular Afghan. So they are these cute little mini makers. So here's a mini maker in hot pink. Here's a mini maker in purple. Here's another mini maker in orange, and here's another mini maker in yellow. This is my first time using the minis, They are, and you know, listen, why did the writing have to be mini too? Why is the writing mini? Oh my God, I'm going to have to find my glasses. Okay, let me see. Good grief. All right. These minis are 65 yards. Yes, 65 yards, 60 meters, 30 grams, 100% acrylic. You can use a 5mm knitting needle, or a size 8 or UK size 6, and you can use a 6mm crochet hook, or a USA size J10 or UK size 4 with these Yarn Bee minis. So I purchased these minis months ago and I purchased them for this Afghan, and as you see, it has a lot of colors. And I'm going to work on that today, I guess. I am. This Afghan features some red heart yarn. I'm looking right now and I can basically tell what yarns I was using for this particular soon to be Granny Afghan, because for most of my Afghans, my Granny Afghans, they're basically leftover yarn, and I just use what I have left over from other projects and I put them into a Granny Afghan. So that's what this is basically. Let's see, let me see if I remember. I do though. This started off as a single granny square, and it started off as the purple in the middle, the ombre, which is a red heart ombre, and then the white, which is not white, it's really a Karen Simply Soft Cream, if you can see that, and then that's a Karen Simply Soft Blue. That's a Hobby Lobby. That's a Yarn Bee pink. That is, it feels like, I think this is a red heart. I believe this is a red heart. White. This is definitely a red heart. Red. That is a Hobby Lobby pink. This is red heart purple. Red heart yellow. Karen Simply Soft blue. Yarn Bee pink. This is Yarn Bee purple. And this feels like some cotton. It is cotton, so it must be Yarn Bee cotton. And then this is Karen Simply Soft here. Yeah, I was kind of obsessed with Karen Simply Soft, but the thing about Karen Simply Soft is that it unravels. Oh, it unravels big time, and that's what I really dislike about it. But I decided that since I had so much of it, why not put it into a Granny Afghan, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish this up. I stopped at this point because I probably, more than likely, got fed up with the Karen Simply Soft, and I'm going to add another color to this, and since it's pink, I think I'm going to, well, let's see, I have some white, so maybe I'll go back over everything with this white, and then I have another row of white, and then when I get back around to the next corner, I'll change it up, and then I'll change it to this yellow, or maybe I'll change it to the orange. Who knows? We'll see. So how has your day been? For the rest of the time, let's talk about what's been happening in the news. So for me, since I review Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I'm I haven't reviewed anything else but Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I'm getting ready to start reviewing here on this channel Real Housewives of Atlanta, Basketball Wives, the Real Housewives of Potomac, Karen Huger's reunion. I'm going to do that next week. I missed last week's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I saw some of it, but I didn't want to give a review of the episode and I didn't want to give a half-hearted or half review. I wanted to give you a full review, and I didn't want to miss some things because I didn't get a chance to see the entire episode, so I just left it. And what happened last week was that it's a tradition in in our family to watch the 10 Commandments right before Easter. We don't celebrate Easter. We don't celebrate Easter or the Passover or anything. We just like the movie The 10 Commandments. So, and it's so funny though. We watch the 10 Commandments, and when you are a person of African descent and you're watching so-called historical movies like that, it's kind of fun. And if you are not African American, you should really watch the 10 Commandments or any historical movie that's supposed to take place in Africa. You should watch that movie or that film with your African American or your African British, a person of color. Just watch the film with a person of color. You'll have a good time, and you'll be educated, fully educated about African history. So when we watch the 10 Commandments, it's very interesting because what we're saying, wait a minute. We're saying, where's the black people? And you'll see the black people appear, but they'll appear as what? The slaves. They're pulling somebody's chariot or something of that nature. You're not going to see them in a starring role or or as a supporting cast member. You're not going to see that. You're just going to you're going to see them pull up doing something subservient in a subservient position. And I don't want to give you a history lesson because it's well documented, but when we watch the 10 Commandments, we enjoy it. It's loosely based on the Bible. And it's a good time. While we sit there and we talk about the flaws and all, it's still a great movie. I mean, how can you top Yul Brynner? Yul Brynner is the man. And how about Ann Baxter? She plays the queen. She's excellent in this role, or in that role. So we got caught up watching the Ten Commandments, and by the time I got ready to check out Love and Marriage Huntsville, it was late. So I only caught a couple of scenes. I caught the scene where I came in on Destiny talking to Maurice about being on public assistance, and how she only kept her store open maybe a few times a day, or whatever it was. She said a few times a week, or what have you, whatever. She kept saying that she was on public assistance, and Maurice like, oh, you got PPP, and she was like, no, I got public assistance. Girl, that chick was lying. See, this is what I'm talking about over here. See, this is the thing that makes the internet so much fun, but it can be a two-edged sword at times, because Destiny said that she was on public assistance and that she didn't get a PPP loan, right? And remember, people who have businesses could, apply for a PPP loan to help keep their business afloat during the panorama. But she said she got public assistance. This is like maybe the second time that she mentioned that she was on public assistance. Now, a lot of people say, well, what does public assistance mean? Now, Destiny is from Detroit. So when she said she was on public assistance, I knew what she meant. What she meant was food stamps and Medicaid. Or what they call these days, the EBT card and Medicaid. That's public assistance. Could she have received some help with her rent? Possibly. Could she have received some help with her lights and things, or utilities? Possibly. But when we think of public assistance, that's what we're thinking of, right? I mean, come on. I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. So when she told, I can't remember who she told, was it Letitia? It was somebody that she told that she had to get on public assistance to keep herself afloat and together. And then she told Maurice the same thing. And girl, wouldn't you know it? Oh, and if you're a gentleman, I'm sorry about that. Wouldn't you know that the internet proved that Destiny was lying? Can you believe that? Come to find out, Destiny got a PPP loan worth $20,000 from Wells Fargo Bank. Child. So my question is, why you go on national TV and lie when people can look this stuff up? Why did you do that? Why would you go on national TV where there are people who watch these shows with a laptop, or their phones handy so they can look some mess up about you? You had to know that this truth was going to come out. As soon as that lie fell out your mouth, sister, and Maurice asked you twice, you should have backpedaled or walked that lie back and clarified what you meant. because your company received $20,000 and some change. So I have a question. Could you get a PPP loan and still receive public assistance? Don't you have to report that to your local Department of Children and Family Services? I don't know, but there were several vloggers who hopped on this story as well last weekend. So I guess we'll have to wait until the reunion to find out what the real deal is. And please remember that all of this discussion and commentary, this is all alleged, because I don't know anything about this woman's finances. I only know what she tells us. I only know what Destiny allows us to know on the show. But I found it very interesting that she would be on public assistance. And wasn't her husband like the Chicken King of Alabama? I mean, that's how they were pumping him up when they first arrived on the show as a couple, that they were supposed to be making all this money or what have you. And she has a business, a building or something like that. It was talking about building and designing and adding on, of which she was talking about again with Maurice that night. I don't know. All I know is she had a PPP loan, allegedly. But off in the Bravo world, Nene Leakes has officially filed a lawsuit against NBC, well, Universal NBC, Bravo, the Real Housewives of Atlanta producers and production companies, and Andy Cohen. That happened yesterday. What in the world is going on? Now this is the thing about her lawsuit that is very interesting to me. So she files a lawsuit saying that her former bestie, Kim Zolciak Biermann, created a hostile, racist working environment. And Nene says that she had went to executives and I guess Andy Cohen to let them know that, what Kim was saying, that Kim was making racial slurs or whatever, innuendos or whatever Kim was doing. And she said that she didn't receive, that the studio, that the company, and that Bravo and that the production company, that they let it slide. They didn't do anything to rectify that situation. Instead, they went on to give Kim a show. So she also listed incidents of when these things occurred. She went all the way back to season 1 when Kim said that she wasn't going to attend a barbecue over at, I think her name is Deshaun Snow's house. Yes. She didn't want to attend a party over at Deshaun Snow's house because she didn't understand why she had to sit there and eat chicken. She didn't want to eat fried chicken and something else. So I remember when Kim said that, and yes, it was a big thing, but that was in season 1. What season are we in now on Real Housewives of Atlanta? We're going into season 13. Okay, how many seasons has Nene Leakes been on the show? Since season 1. I don't even feel like doing the math on that. Okay, I don't. But in the lawsuit, Nene says that she's undergoing she's under emotional distress every day when she wake up. I mean, this thing about Kim calling people's neighborhoods ghetto and Roachgate and all this stuff is keeping her up at night. She's saying that she went to Bravo and to Bravo executives to talk about Kim. And instead of them disciplining Kim, they gave her a show. And she said that because of her complaints, she was basically tossed out on her ass from the show. Okay, so I do want to say this. Kim Zolciak Biermann is problematic, and she has said and done some problematic things. We can begin with the way that she treated her so-called friend and assistant, Sweetie. We can start there. We can start also, we can stop by the episode of how she treated her former friend Candy. Remember, Candy wrote a song for her that turned out to be a little hit for Kim Zolciak Biermann. And Kim took all the credit and all the money and all the accolades. Even though we saw Candy Burris craft the song, put the song together, all of that. Written, arranged, produced, and the background vocals are by Candy Burris. Now, yes, it was Candy's bad for not thinking ahead and not understanding the full scope of the Real Housewives universe. You know, that was short-sighted. She should have made sure that she, got her official credit and due for that song. But you would think that your so-called friend, Kim, that she would draw something up legally so you can eat. Nope. That whole Roachgate situation with Kim's daughter posting those pictures of what looked to be one of those flying palomino bugs in the bathroom or in the guest bathroom of Nene's home. There has been several situations with Kim that I have noticed is ridiculous. And I used to watch Kim's show, Don't Be Tardy. I used to watch that. But after Kim's performance on season 10 of Roa, I stopped watching that show. As a matter of fact, I want to be honest with you. I had stopped watching maybe 2 seasons before that of Don't Be Tardy. But I really stopped watching Don't Be Tardy after Kim's performance on Roy on season 10, which was just really ridiculous. Just out of this world. Straight up madness. But the whole lawsuit used Kim as its padding to me, in my opinion. And the question goes, why didn't she just sue Kim? Why isn't Kim named on this lawsuit or in this lawsuit? Why isn't she attached to it? If Kim was so much of the boogeyman or boogie woman, why isn't she named as a party to this lawsuit? And what also confuses me about this lawsuit is the fact that there was a moment in time when Kim and Nene were planning to have some type of show together. Nene said that. What happened? I mean, did she just all of a sudden forget at that time period that Kim was some type of a racist, some type of clan clan card carrying member? None of this makes any sense. What really doesn't make sense for me as well is the fact that last year on The Real, Nene was practically asking or begging for her job back. And she was talking about she wanted to have a sit down with Andy Cohen and all this stuff. I saw that. Which I did not understand, because how do you sit back and you basically badmouth a company? You trash a company, a network. You trash the show that you helped put on the map. You trash the franchise. You trash Bravo. You say that Bravo discriminates against black people. You basically told your former co-workers or employees that they need to walk off the job and join you on the picking line outside of NBC. That's what she did. How do you go from that to you want your job back at Roa? You willing to sit down and have a conversation with Andy Cohen, your former boss? Do you think anybody wants to mess with you after that? You claim that you're being blacklisted or blackballed, but you also are acting as if it's not your fault. You're acting as if, hey, I didn't do anything. They just kicked me off the show. I didn't do anything. I was just minding my own business. No, you weren't. You were being Nene Leakes is what you were doing. I should say Nene Leakes is what you were doing. All right? You were being you. You were being pompous, arrogant, obnoxious, loud. And if anything, you blacklisted yourself and you destroyed your own career. You did that. Nobody did that to you. You did it. You felt that since you were the head honcho over there at ROA, that everything should revolve around you. But what you forget about this business is that one day you can be up and the next minute you can be down. I don't know anyone that stayed up forever in Hollywood. Do you? I don't. Especially coming from reality TV. So I don't know what Nene Leakes is trying to do, but she out here in these streets looking crazy. I'm gonna tell you that. So 2 years after you go on this crusade, you decide to sue. Now, when Nene first went on this crusade 2 years ago, Mariah Huq from Married to Medicine was on the crusade with her, and she had a legitimate situation going on. She had a legitimate beef. Not saying that Nene and her beef, as far as Kim Zolciak is concerned, not saying that that's not legitimate, because it is. But at that time, Mariah did what? She filed a lawsuit. Question: why didn't Lenethia Nene Leakes file a lawsuit then too, as well? That's what I want to know. She also says that Bravo was restraining her or restricting her from speaking about Black Lives Matter or black issues during that tumultuous period of time in 2020. I'm trying to figure out, why would Bravo stop you from speaking? Portia was out there in the streets going to jail, marching and going to jail. We all know it was for a storyline, but she was still out there in these streets marching. Nobody stopped her. In fact, her the spinoff was originally supposed to be about her activism, quote unquote, but turned into that hot mess that eventually aired, and I never watched it. So what do you mean? Married to Medicine over at Bravo, they were all about the Black Lives Matter movement, and they were talking about it. They had Al Sharpton, and I can't remember, they had Ben Crump on there as well. They had Al Sharpton, attorney Ben Crump on their show. So what is Nene talking about? Bravo was keeping her or restricting her from prohibiting her from speaking out about those matters that were very, it's still very relevant in this time when it comes to racial discrimination and police brutality in the African American community and in the communities of color. So I don't understand it. You know what I think this is? I think this is all a simple money grab. And remember, this is my opinion. I don't know this to be a fact, but looking on, this appears to be a money grab. And I really believe this case is going to be dismissed on the basis of merit. which it has none. Because see, what's going to have to happen is you're going to have to get Kim to come up and testify on the behalf of Bravo. Kim is going to have to... I mean, did Nene really think this through? I mean, or is this going to be the new show for her and Kim? Nene and Kim, let's go to court. Let's go to court, starring Nene and Kim. Because, I mean, what is this? I have questions and no answers. But trust me, I'm waiting. I'm waiting because I want to know what's going on. I want to see how this plays out. I really do. I want to see how this plays out, and I want to know. I need more information. I need more information. Because I don't understand. None of this makes any kind of sense to me. And it's not supposed to, because I'm not Nene Leakes. I'm not her attorney or attorneys. So it's not supposed to make sense to me. But is this supposed to be a strategy? We're going to use Kim Zodiac Bierman as the tool to get back at Bravo and Andy Cohen. Because see, here's the thing. Let's face it. The thing is that Nene was pissed and is pissed that Bravo gave Kim a show. And if I recall, the reason why Kim was given a show was because she didn't want to continue on Roa because she had bad relationships with everybody on that show. First of all, Candy, then Cynthia, Kenya. I'm trying to think, was Kenya on the show when Kim was on the show? I don't think she was. Phaedra. Kim kept saying that she didn't want to be on the show anymore because it was a toxic environment. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm just trying to remember, all the stuff that went down and how she got her own show and what the gossip was and what the rumor was. But that was it. The fact was that she still had a contract with Bravo to complete so many episodes. And I think that she was pregnant. Was she and Croy's first child. And Bravo decided to give her own show. So that left Nene as the queen bee of Roa. Right? But I guess Nene felt some kind of way about Kim having her own show. Maybe she wanted Kim to be fired. But Kim had a storyline. And the storyline was that Kim fell in love with an NFL player, fell madly in love, got pregnant, had a baby, built a house, and kept on having babies. And it was very interesting. It was a good storyline that fully developed on Don't Be Tardy. We wouldn't have seen everything that we saw those first 3 seasons of Don't Be Tardy over on Roa. We just wouldn't. We wouldn't have got a chance to get to know Croy Bierman, or really got a chance to get to know the kids, her daughters, like that, or become introduced to the younger children, the way we did as we followed her through her pregnancies and her marriage, her wedding, all of that stuff, that happened over on Don't Be Tardy. That would not have been able to be developed to its fullest potential on Roa. So I don't know. This Nene Leakes thing, I don't understand it. Me and Nene and I are the same age, 54, and I can't understand it. I don't understand I don't understand the intent behind it, because I'm trying to figure out, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to jack him up? I know you're trying to jack Andy up. But your argument in jacking Kim and Andy up, how is all of this? Wait, how does Kim really fit in this lawsuit? And if she is the catalyst for the mayhem and chaos that you are feeling in your life, Nene, why don't you just sue Kim? Well, you're not trying to sue Kim because she ain't got no money and she got a whole bunch of kids? Because Troy not playing in the NFL anymore, so you realize she doesn't have any money, so you're going to go to the big guns and try to extract some money from them? And how much money do you think you're going to get from them? Do you think NBC, Universal NBC, is going to settle with you? Is that what you're looking for, is a settlement? Do you think by presenting this lawsuit, do you think that Andy Cohen is going to invite you on Watch What Happens Live to discuss your relationship? Do you think by some miracle Bravo is going to say, come on back, girl, come on back over here to Roa, come on back over here, girl, we missed you? Do you think that's going to happen now? And you say that you're being blacklisted. Girl, do you think that you're going to work in Hollywood again? Did you see that mess that happened with Monique? Did you see that? I mean, Monique has just been taken off of the blacklisted list. You know, 50 Cent just got her off the blacklist. So what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm going to say something, and this is going to be politically incorrect, and it may shock some, but see, here's the thing. The Bee Gees talked about it in one of their Behind the Music, or in their Behind the Music documentary that aired on VH1. I'm a Bee Gees fan. You know what they said about fame? Fame is corrupting. Fame will have you believe in anything. Fame will have you believe in your own press. Fame will have you believing that you are the ish. Okay? And that the world revolves because of you. That the world spins on its axis because of you. That's what fame will do to you. And if you don't have your head on right, you will fall into that. And that's what the Bee Gees call first fame. First fame is where you lose your head. You start thinking that you are more and worth more than what you are really, truly worth. You think your value is way up here. But what you don't realize is that after a certain while, a certain amount of time, your value comes down here. You start here, go here. That's what happens to your value in Hollywood, because everything is fleeting. You could be up today, down tomorrow. You could be living in a mansion today and on Skid Row tomorrow. You could be living in a penthouse and living in your car tomorrow. Shoo, that's life. So all that loudmouth, ridiculous stuff that Nene likes to do, talking loud, all that stuff that she does, people got tired of that mess. I think her days were numbered when that closet episode happened. When that closet episode happened, I think that was the beginning of the end for her. If you don't know what that closet incident is, you have to look it up. But I really do believe that was the beginning of the end for Nene Leakes. I believe also that she got a bad reputation and people don't want to work with her. Because listen, you are in the backyard of Tyler Perry. You're in the backyard of Tyler Perry. Why Tyler Perry ain't called you up yet, girl? Why wasn't you in Medea's last movie, girl? Or any of those TV shows that Tyler Perry has on? You're in his backyard. Girl, Tyler Perry don't even want to mess with you? Something wrong. And here's another thing. Just because you help propel something doesn't mean that you continue or deserve to be a part of it. Just like a house. I could have a house built, buy the land, put my family in it, and say, this is our family home. This is the house that I want my children and their children and their children's children. I want multiple generations to grow up in this house. Right? Let's fast forward 100 years. And let's say my descendants decide that they're not going to pay the bill, pay the taxes on the house. They're not going to take care of it. They allow the house to go into disrepair, fall back in back taxes. And the state and the city comes in and say, oh, we're going to tear this down. Or as a matter of fact, we're just going to take it over. We're going to foreclose on it and take it. And then somebody comes in and pays the taxes on it and decides to fix it up and move in it and have a good life in it. And then my descendants come back around and say, you know what? I deserve a piece of this action. You know, it was my great grandmother who built this. This is my heritage. This is a part of me. I deserve this. What do you think is going to happen next? Do my descendants deserve to be in that house? No, they don't. Because it doesn't matter. If you squandered what you built, you don't get to go back in and scoop it up as if nothing ever happened. That's not how life works. You can try it, but it's not going to turn out the way you want it to. And that's what happened to Nene. She built something and she squandered it. Now she's running around making noise, like my grandmother said, like a chicken with his head cut off. Just running around. Now she's putting these lawsuits out here. It's embarrassing. Sis, get your life together. Work your businesses. Get yourself together. Be quiet. Rebuild your brand so that you can accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. You were supposed to learn something from this whole situation. You didn't learn anything. And I want to learn what in the world and why, and I'm sure Kim wants to know this too. Why am I being included in your lawsuit? Are you going to try to make a coin off of my back? Because if I was Kim, I would be like, wait a minute, you trying to make some coins off of me? We're going to share those coins, ho. You going to put me in this lawsuit to get some money? You know, to do a money grab? Oh, you going to give me some of those coins. You got my name out here. And all I'm doing is minding my own business and posting stuff on my Instagram and posting crazy stuff on Facebook. That's called celebrity news. I'm over here minding my own business. Now you got me in a lawsuit. Sort of. I'm the subject of the lawsuit, but thank God you ain't trying to sue me. But since you're going to use my name and this is a money grab, I'm going to need to get paid. I don't understand, people. I don't understand you, Destiny, from Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't understand what you were trying to do. You know how these internet streets work. You know it's going to be some couch vigilante, some couch researcher that's going to get on there and type stuff up and find out some things. And they found out that you got $20,000 and some change from that PPP loan you got. So what public assistance are you talking about? Is that what you mean by public assistance, PPP loan? Well, that's not what you told Maurice, though. You said you was actually getting some public assistance. And I'm from Detroit, too. So I know exactly when you said public assistance, I knew what you were saying. Bet you didn't think those couch vigilantes was gonna couch internet vigilantes was gonna jump up like that, did you? Because that was quick. And Nene, I don't know what to say, but I do know that I'm gonna keep watching because I want to see how this is going to develop. So thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode. It was kind of long, wasn't it? Of Let's Crochet and Chat. And I'm slowly coming around to my beginning corner. And when I get here, then I will be changing colors. And I'm probably going to use orange. Yay! I'm going to use orange. Just decided like that. Or maybe I'll go back to the yellow But listen, look what's just happened. Look at that. Unraveling. Yep. Well, I better catch it now and work on it, because I do not want to have a big old thing that happened with that other Afghan over there. So I better check this out and fix this now. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in the tiny studio. I'm Nell, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Happy crocheting!